Alright, so I like to usually start off with like floors and stuff, but we probably want to look into like dream settings so that we can start importing things. Dream settings is where you can name your dream. It's gonna still be the name of whatever character you upload, but you can have this as like a little tag name. So like if I have this as Eros Thanatos, I'll have this as Postcard Dream. Boom. You can toggle whether or not you want anyone to be able to study your map or be able to have it encrypted or not. I'm not quite sure about this just yet, the ambience mode, but that's pretty cool. If you, oh, this is where you can set your dream standards. This would be for everyone right here. Let's see, on only, that's a whole bunch of everything. I don't understand why anyone would prevent the tab name listing unless you're doing a hide and seek sort of thing. But, so you want to get patches. You want to hit browse. I'm going to go to my Furcadia dream, which is in my Furcadia folder here. Actually, it's going to be on my desktop. Furcadia dreams here. And I'm going to go into my Spirit Realm World Package, because that's the one I haven't messed around with too many of the patches yet. Hit OK. Boom. Look at that. All my custom patches right there. My walls, my effects, my ambiance, regions. Oh my god, regions are so beautiful. I am so glad that I was taught how to use them. So, I usually map out how I want things with a floor, usually just a really obnoxious thing. Here I draw that, and then instead of just doing this for the entire thing, and I can control Z to undo, you can literally fill with a bucket. If you decide that's not your placement that you want to do, you can hit this select thing, select the entire area, control X. And if I want to move it over here, control V. Ah, shit. Edit. Paste. Oh, I know why. I have to copy through here first. Where this white spot is. Paste. Ah, that's right, it's where that is. There it is! Haha! Wherever you're hovering this thing. So now I got like 2 places here. Or I could... It will do that. It will do like this weird thing where it like copies everything. And then control V here. And it'll paste whatever is over here, including what was selected over here and over here. And this includes items, so you can select items. It will select walls, it will select effects and everything. So it's a little unwieldy. Floors, boop. Oh, here, need to get into the pencil. And just use that as an eraser. There we go. So, here's the walls. I'm going to try and make like a little indoor area for kind of like maybe a noble house or control Z. I'm gonna make it 2 floors. Oh, something that's really cool. So the show thing, you want to get the Furcadia field of view. Basically, if this square that you see here, or rectangle, is the center or centers around where the furry would see it. So if a furry's right here, they're going to see this area. And in the old times, you had to, like, position things all the way out here so they wouldn't, like, see and break the immersion. So what you would have to do, or what you can do now, is mess around with regions. So say... Actually, I'm going to make a little outside area too, because this is going to be so cool when you see this. I'm going to make outside region here. A little dream. There's just going to be a little flower thing. Ta-da! I'm going to hit up a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Put some windows. Boop. I need to reposition those walls and make some walls taller so they all line up. And I'm going to get this black void and bucket fill. Bucket fill. There we go. Now we have, like, the illusion that they're floating in space. And so regions, I'm going to put everything, and I can still bucket fill, like right here. Oh, hold on. Forgot that I have to draw this around. It doesn't let you do it like... I'm going to do that. Bucket fill. Boom. You can also, eyedropper things. Because right now my eyedropper, if I want to select, say, come on, boop. Oh. Okay, eyedropper's not working right now. Forgot how or why. Oh, that's why. Eyedropper floor. And then item, eyedropper, item, region, eyedropper, the region. And I'm going to make anything below region 10 outside. Whereas anything above region 10 as inside. I'm going to assign these 2 different areas as regions. Oh my gosh, yeah. How many regions can a dream have? Ooh, that is a good question. It says here on the website that you can, like, the regions up here, like the default regions, go all the way up to 200. But you can add your own custom regions, and you can add up to... on here, looking up again. I think it's like another 1,000 or something like that, and you don't even have to give it or color it or put anything there. Oh, here it is. You can do regions, tab 2, show all regions 0 to 40,000. So 40,000 regions is the max. Which I don't know how anyone would need to or could use that. Yeah. And I feel a little more limited with the items, because you can get up to 1,000 total different items in your item e.fox and 500 total floors in your floor e.fox. So this also brings up that you don't need to have the item like patch. You don't need to have the default item like patch in there. I do, because I tend to rewrite over my patches. Like, to give you an example, Whoop. I'm just gonna hide some stuff here. There we go. So here's some of the, like, you have items that has all of the default patches. You don't need to have this in your folder. If Furc, like the new way, will just have the item folder or default in there for you, and whatever you put in item E becomes your custom. But you can overwrite items yourself. Same goes for lighting, locals, and all that stuff. But you can tell with my items, I have default. I have overwritten some default stuff here. Like all these oranges are actually the items that I'm auditing and gonna replace with other items. Some of these items I'm gonna merge together into one item with Kitterspeak. And then that's gonna actually give me more room. Because at the moment, I am at like 500 in my item E. And I plan on expanding my dream. Alright. Going back to this region. I'm gonna do all the way up here to region 12. Alright. Now, with the right dragon speak, you can basically assign all regions 11 and 12 as indoors. What this means is that if you're in the outdoor as any region like 1 through 10, you will not see 11 and 12, and 12 and 11 will not see each other. In fact, you can do something really silly, like I've done before with the OC room, and had like one square be a different region. And when you go into that one square, you can't see anyone inside it. You can't hear them. It's like as if they're in a different part of the map. And vice versa. So it's kind of like a little pocket dimension. Here we go. So that's what I wanted to show with that. Effects, you can pretty much get like weather effects this way. That's where I keep my weather. That's where I keep my lighting. Some animated stuff. You can also turn some items into effects like how I am here. And that can save you room on items. Problem is, just like with items, you can only have one thing in one spot. So if I'm having snow inside here, thankfully it's large enough to where it doesn't like break that illusion. Also, you can select this area here. This is like your favorites tab. I actually sometimes keep a favorite of these flashing floors. Create favorite. Boom. Like that. And I do that just so that, like, yeah, the shadow. I can give myself an idea of where I want coordinates to be. Oh, here's another thing. If you are running dragons, you need to save your dream first. Okay, yeah. Save as boo 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 boo. Furcadia dreams tutorial dream. I'm gonna make a new folder. Tutorial dream in here. Boom. Save. Oh, gotta give a name. Boop. There we go. You can also, if the regions get really hard for you to see what floors you have in, you can always go to the show and you can click what effects, what items. You can turn hide them again. That actually helps me figure out in making stairs, because stairs are my bane. see here. So, as I was mentioning, Dragon Speak. Once you have that in there, this is the first coordinates or the first Dragon Speak line you're going to have. When a furry arises into the dream, move the triggering fur to 1010. Those are the XY coordinates. Every spot pertains to an XY coordinate. Right now, 1010 is somewhere around here. I forget how it goes. It's like a diagonal. But I want people, when they arrive, to arrive around here. But if you hit Control click and you click with your left mouse, that copies the coordinates of that exact spot. And you hit Control V, boom. They will now teleport to that spot. And what I also like to do is, this is the entire document. You can actually make different parts of the sections in the Dragon Speak constructor. So I add section, name it Dream Startup. Boom. Move this up here to the highest part. And when you select these different things, it's going to be different parts of the document, but the entire document, that's what it looks like. So when everything's starting up, you can actually click right here. Boom. You don't have to copy paste it. The effects, you can search. Oh, hold on here. I gotta put the levels. Oh, levels are expert. Okay, just gotta click in here, and then you can use these little things to help find the exact speech you're looking for. Okay. Show everything in region to everyone at once. You can make certain regions walkable. I'm trying to find the one that lets you make certain parts of it, like inside and outside. I think it's pretty much like very much in the front. Aha, here it is. When everything's all set, starting up, treat all regions 10, 11 and higher as indoors and only show furs that what's inside that region. What is Killer Speak and the other used for? Phoenix Speak. Okay, Phoenix Speak is like data that is saved within Dragon Speak. And then messages as well. Or aka strings. Phoenix Speak, think of it like you can basically save stats, you can save names of players or certain levels of players, and if you have to ever reload the dream, it gets saved and you don't have to worry about losing that information. Killer Speak is in your Fox file. So let's open up. Here we go. I'm gonna do item E. See if I can. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find my boat. Feel like oh, there it is. Okay. Killer Speak determines Okay. That's right, because I'm using the other one. So not boat. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use boat to, like, do an example of this. Boop. I'm going to select all this. Control C. Go back to the previous item. And this right here, that's the frame. If you hit this plus sign, it adds a new frame. Hit V. Boom. New frame. But now what it does is that it flicks between these two items. And that's because in animation, aka Kidder Speak, it says do this. It usually does that, so I usually remove that. That just means that it waits a few milliseconds. This set behind for frame 1, frame 2, I could put in the foreground. That's frame 2, save step. Boom. Now, when you do that, look at that. Both items are in the front and foreground. This means what I can do is go to View Fur Shape Settings. Then I can move this. Now, as you can see, it also moves. And you can scroll in, but you can't really do that. This lets you play like this has more control over the animation. In a way, yeah, Pip. That's pretty much, that's a good way of like understanding it. Kidder Speak mostly does like layers, animation. You can do delay, you can have them loop, change the different frames, or even just follow the, set the camera, which is what we have here, to follow the furry. So if the fur is put up here, the camera zooms up there with the fur. So you're not losing where your avatar is. You could even set opacity to things, where you can make it like, yeah, less clear, and you can have the opacity slide. That mostly works with like setting up effects. So when I hit File, Save, and then what I can do here to reload my patches that I just edited, I hit Control P. And then when I go down to my boat, which should be right here, look at that. It's all one item there. And that's how you can have a larger item be one piece or fewer pieces, and it takes up less room. I have Phoenix Speak in my dream, but mostly it's to remember values. Like, let's see if I can, yeah, I'm gonna hit save. Go up to Furcadia Dreams. Boop. Where is it again? That's right, Ata Volcano. Where's Ata? Or Spirit Realm. There we go. I want to go to that one. Alright. So this is what my dream looks like right here. Most of it's the Phoenix Speak is going to be here. Oh, you can also do variables, which is kind of like on or off switches or other things that you can do. Emit messages. Here we go. Day, night, or setting up time and date. It's mostly in the weather is the Phoenix Speak. I think. I'm now like wondering if I even do have Phoenix Speak. I do. But you can store like kilobytes of information in dreams. Like, I think the default dream. .com. Go. Double checking. You can find a lot of stuff under creation and dream making and tutorials right here. Let's see here. You could even download patches from the Furcadia website from the first straight up. Packages. Here we go. More information. Click here. That's what I like to do to compare. So, Phoenix database, your default, it's got to be like 8,000 kilobytes. If you get pounds, it's 10K, 200K. When I get the world package, it's going to be 5,000 kilobytes. You also get trackable players. I can track up to like 5,000 players if I ever needed to. Everyone else is like 50 or like lower than that. Max stream space. Here we go. 208 by 200. Pounds is just like a different group, but it's pretty much almost default. Whereas mine would be 450 by 450. You don't get, I think the extra locals that you can get are about like 10 for the default, and then you get an additional 10 if you get hurt, an additional 15 with dream, and so on and so forth. I would get 60. Here's rendering engine, GPU. That sounds about right. I honestly don't know enough about computers. This is like the most computery computer I can do, because Dragon Speak Constructor just makes it so easy. I'm gonna close that one. Oh, here. Wow, open. Tutorial dream. Hey, where'd it go? Oh, I know what it did. Run DS editor. Here we go. So, default section, when a fur arrives. One other thing I like to set up is setting the way speech works too. Or like commands. Oh my goodness, I forgot how I did that, but basically you can make it so that commands don't have to be capitalized or lowercase or even like very specific. And Dragon Speak is very specific. It works from top down. And for a lot of these, you need to have a fur or triggering fur. If the cause is like a timer and your effect is triggering fur does this, it's not going to work because a timer is not a triggering fur. Okay. Let's get some ambiance. Ambiance lets you set the tone. Because it goes over, and I'm going to show the regions here, you can see that this ambiance is not going to be visible. And the ambiance goes over here and it layers on top. So I like to do that. Fill. And then I like to get the regions, and that's region 11. And put that where all that stuff is, so that the walls and ambiance will be visible. Lighting, that's the cool stuff. So let's get some effects with torches. Boom, or actually, you know what? Stars. Show effects. Here's the stars. They don't look very bright. Put them here. Lighting. I have the star lighting that can overlay that. And look at that. It has like a cool effect and stuff. You can also do things with ambiance like or even effects and have those as triggers. Or not as triggers, but as things that you can bump into, like items. Like this is my Mihilakite cloud that if you walk into, you get like the prompt to roll your dice. And if you are standing in that effect and you roll your dice, you have like a list of different effects. Oh, actually, let's do some stairs. Scroll up 2 stairs. Here we go. Stairs. Put in here. Then put this here. Looks like you're going down. I also like to put this very small wall right here. Because my big pet peeve as a Dreamweaver is if you are a fur. Whoop. I like to get my. There. If you are someone walking up the stairs and you walk this way, you still teleport there. A lot of people put like DS that if you walk into this spot right here, teleports you here. That means that even if you didn't mean to, and you're trying to move to the side to make room for someone, you teleport up there. Or if you teleport and you walk this way, you're still facing this way. For me, that breaks my immersion. In the stinky square. So, like, what I usually do is this room 1, boom. When a fur moves into position XY, you can do that, and they are facing towards position this, teleport the triggering fur. Remove the triggering fur. If no one's already there. That way you can also block the stairs. So, when I have them step this way, Control paste, Control V, and they are facing this spot right here, because it can go through walls. Hit that, and I have them appear right here. There. I now have my stairs. And usually I will copy this downstairs. If you hit asterisk, it treats it like that, and it won't, if you put numbers here, it turns purple, and that means that it doesn't get interpreted. But if you put numbers here, you can see the blue. That means the dragon speak tries to read it. Meanwhile, if you go there, boop, facing this direction, V, teleport here. Boom. For this, because the rest of the floor is not walkable, outside. Oh, also, sometimes you have templates right here. Enter and leave emits, teleport. Just boom. Automatically makes it. And you could even select some and make it like or like you can add one here. No, yeah, you can select this from one. Templates, boom. Then you can make it a template. Saves so much time in life. And this is like DS help. Like if you don't know what the DS is about, this can actually explain it to you right here. Alright. Outside. I don't need that line. Boom. Don't need this line. Also, I love doing this because this helps me keep track of like stinky lines of code that I don't like. Boop. V. That's gonna get me here. Control V. Oh, that's right. Go here. That gets me here. So now I have basically a working indoors, outdoors sort of situation. What else? What else? This is small versus large. This is what the items look like because I didn't go over the large. I don't know what that's honestly about. I think it's like if you are. So what I like to do is with all these different tabs here. This is the large. You can see that the furry gets large here too. But look at that space. You can put big items here. And you get much less space here. So what I'll do is that I'll do like a really large item, or if I'm working on multiple things at once in here and I need to shade them or whatever, I'll work in this thing for all of them to keep them all consistent. This is the alpha. Think of it as like a layer that you can... I'm not quite sure what the alpha is, but that's the alpha. Turn that on and off. Think of it as like seeing what the silhouettes look like. This is the remappable. And over here, so if this was all grayscale, I can make this grayscale here. Boop, 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 boop. Like if I'm making a portrait, if I'm making an avatar, I can go in here and color this. Now you can see that the pink line doesn't go off. The pink is for hair, gray is for fur. I usually take the gray and then fill here, and that makes everything. So when I go to view dye colors, where'd it go? That part of the map went somewhere. Oh wait. There it is. So this is it. Boop. You can see those lines there. This is where you have like your brush shape. Boop. You can also zoom out of that. That's hair, vest. These are like basically your character's colors that's stored. Look at that. See, it does the shading for you. So it's like an overlay. Yeah! And here is another cool thing. I'm going to select all this. Move it out. And that only moves the color. See? Because we're in this line. But if we're in here, move this. Boom. The whole thing is gone. You can go back to small. If you select this right here, shadow, you can actually make a shadow for the item. Like that. I think you should be able to grab the shadow too. Nah. This lets you mark up without like bothering the item at all. See, not on there, just you can kind of sketch. From what I hear from Jamie, you can pretty much do a lot of different things here, and the creators of Furcadia worked with like the pixels to actually make things. You also have icon. This is the Furcadia window. Oh, not window. Oh, if you do this or item, view, edit, import, export. Oh yeah, you can skew, like make something a wall. So like, I'm gonna go 587 up here, which lets me jump to the very last item, which is nothing. If I wanted to make a wall that's blue, I can do this. And then hit skew, wall northeast. Boom. Look at that. It's automatically like, oh, that's the markup. Boop. Edit. Skew northeast. And then I can grab here. I got this massive blue wall. I can zoom out. And it's all automatically like isometric. That's the word. Turn off that. Go back to this. You can see here that the markup is still there, but it's not affecting anything. You can also use these arrows to position things more easily. Ooh, what's this compare button? Oh, you can compare it with items. Now, if you want to import a bunch of items from like a different patch into your item thing without copy pasting everything at once, you can do add objects or add objects. You can add so many objects before, but hold on. I think there is an import. Swap with, revert. Oh, here you go. Import. Import objects. Fox file. You can select over here. So if I wanted to import for my other dream, my modern, oh, not that one. My postcard winter dream. Let's do that. Item. And if I import, say, 3 to 10, if I do that dash, it'll do 3 to 10. Adding as new object, starting from current object, import. Boom. And boop. Look at that. I got the ice objects in there. Gonna exit out of this and not save. It becomes isometric. But yeah, that gets into like patch making. Oh, shoot. There's another very important thing about patches, the properties tab. So let's open up any day now. Items. So this boat, properties. This right here lets you make them gettable, set standards to them. You can even name the object. So boat southwest. Yeah. Boop. I can add the artist's name. Description, boat made south, facing southwest. Keywords, boat, sittable, clickable. And then if you hit Furcadia standard, I think you can hit add like that after you added the original author. Look at that, original author right there. So if anyone copies it, it's there. Oh, that's the license right there. So you can have your own license, description, and you can see right here that it's named. You could even do a dream URL. So if you want an item to link and teleport someone to a dream, you can get the dream URL and put it here and click that. So when they walk into the item, kickable means that it acts like a ball. Swimmable is only certain Digos that have the swimmable, like the flutterfin, the fish, can access that item. Same with any Digo that, or anyone that has a Digo or wings for flyable. Clickable and gettable. Not quite sure what clickable is. Actually, you know what? Wonder if there's an item that's clickable here. Boop. Oh yeah, look at this. So this little sign here will have like whether it's unwalkable, you could swim, fly, or click here. I'm gonna find out how to make an item clickable, and if that lets people be able to like interact with items on a different way. I made this ungettable. But this, you can get, walk, and it doesn't say kickable, but it is kickable. Animation, you can have the animations play or not, if that's bothering you or giving you a headache. Ooh, you can run Notepad. What's that? Oh, look at that. It lets you do like the DS thing that's all Notepad. Okay, that's cool. Oh yeah, mini map, you can do this. What I like to do and how I typically work is that I'll do file and save bitmap and with original size. Tutorial dream. It's now a PNG that I can transport to my iPad, or I can transport to my Clip Studio Paint, and I can literally use that as a 1:1 scale and make patches that way in a layer with like a nice pixel brush. And I don't know what else I can teach you as just like a basic tutorial without getting into like all the things about like dragon speak that I know of and how I make my dream. But yeah. And if you ever need any help or anything, or even just making something, I would be really happy to help out with that. Oh, look at that. You can even look for certain wall decorations or objects. Next 10 shapes. Cool. So you can basically hit plus sign here to swap that loot. Boop. You can see that used to be a crown because I never renamed it. Ooh, night cycles. Okay, so there's several ways to do that. So, as I mentioned before with patches, what you can do, is go to your patch editor. You wanna new. If you want to do item, floor, wall, region, effect, you can even do portrait set or gendered avatar, and that will generate the male, female, whatever, or new item. Amount, you can put 1,000. That way you have the 1,000 you're working with. And then you can get the items from roamheart.net. Patches. Let's download this one. I'm gonna put that there. Alluvial. I can't do that yet. Boop, 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 boop. For shame, Evie. Never buying a Winoir. So I want that, that, and that. So I will extract this to another. I'm gonna just say my desktop in import objects, Fox file, desktop. Should be, oh, there it is, item 1 through 3. Import. Oh, I accidentally did the extra there. Look at that. It's imported like that. I don't have to copy paste. Day and night cycles, that's going to be a DS thing. There is an ambiance that is called night and day. Oh, that one's the storm that can give headaches. Sunset overlay. Here's Furabian Night. No, it's one of these ordinary looking ones. No name. Day-night cycle. This is the ambience right here that is synced up to change every few seconds. Or a few milliseconds. And that could be a good thing if you want to give everyone a chance to play in daytime or nighttime, and it's a lot easier to sync up having items and stuff like that when it changes. But my day and night cycle is a lot more intense. So, actually I'm going to do this. Run DS editor. Day and night. Save. Boop. And there is a timer. When the hour hits, FST. So that's done on like Furcadian Standard Time, which is Central Time. If I wanted to go with like, hey, I am Eastern time, I would be 1 hour ahead. So if I wanted to change at like 7 p.m., that would be military time. So 19. 00. And then I put everywhere or areas. Everywhere outside regions or everywhere in regions 1 through 10 because those are outdoors. Effects. So I want the ambiance. That's effect. There it is. Place ambiance. And that ambience right here is 1. Whoop. There it is. Ambiance 1. So I just got myself a 9 o'clock, like getting dark at 7 o'clock. If I want morning, every time it turns 7, place ambiance 0. And that gets you a pretty much an on and off sort of situation. Mine's goes really in depth, because, yeah, let's close the file, open. Spirit Realm, here we go. I have setting up time and day right here. I have it as stages. When you put 9900, that's like every hour. If you put 99,330 or something like that, yeah, it changes like every half hour. I also have like setting seasons. I said this here when everything's starting up, set the daytime to the current day of the month and to the current day of the year. So I can't change the season to dry or monsoon unless it's actually like October or something. Then day and night, I have this like stages broken up into like 24-hour days. And I have regions 1 through 49 as my outdoor regions. I have far more indoor regions than outdoor regions. And then I also jump animation of some items to certain steps, which would be the kidder speak. So let's see if I can open up my kidder speak for the... It's going to be in items, actually. I'm going to go this way. This has 6 different animations. And it jumps from this one to this one to give you twinkling stars. Animation editor gets us over here. These are the steps. 10, 9, 8, and stuff. So I have the show frame behind and it stops. And step 1 is where I want it to be. Like during morning. Or during the daytime. Thanks. Wait until you see that I have temperature, clear weather, foggy weather. Also, the weather timer DS, there we go. That's the Phoenix speak right there. You do with percentage sign. And you could roll dice and you could subtract dice, and those are actually variables. So, yeah. Set variable weather dice to a total of rolling of 1 dice with 100 sides plus the variable season and variable temperature. And I have it emitting to like my various like alts. And these are messages from Peep that she like left. And she's wonderful. She helped me figure it out. And I have it set so that it happens automatically the time in weather change, or I can say it myself, or I can roll a dice if I'm feeling like I don't know what I want it to be, but I don't want it that weather. I also have moon day counter that counts the moon phases, and the moon phase is actually the sun. The sun and moon's the same item. Here it is. Boop. There's one spot where it's 0, or there's no item there, so that means it's on a different part of the island. Then you have the full moon, the other stuff too. I realize. Oh no, that's right. Peep said that my weather system like scares her. Because it was like infinite scrolling until she helped me figure out a way to like streamline it. So you can have multiple causes and then have like an effect. So as you can see here, it's like when the timer is this and the weather dice falls in these range, but that's for dry season. But when it's this and it falls for that and it goes all the way down to the final cause, which is here, which is change ambiance to 8, and change the weather to the value of 7, and everywhere in there, the thing. That's for hailing. I have it in a couple other places here because I realized that things weren't really changing like how I wanted to, especially when it was the clear weather. For some reason, that was acting up for a while. Sorry. Yeah, this does. It does. I'll start with the basics. Yeah, start with the basics. If you want my weather system or my day-night cycle, I can just give it to you. Like, I can give it in a little thing that you can copy, paste into your own section. Because I couldn't have done it with anyone else, and so I pass that forward. I actually have to organize my lore. But you can see it's all over the place. I still have the donating and gathering food thing. Yeah. So, any other questions? Yay! I hope this was very educational and helpful. And like,